Hi, I'm Richard. I look after the sales and marketing for Wrights Baking. Andrea is our new product development manager, and she's developed some of these one of the recipes that we're showing today. Wrights is a 150-year-old family company with London's only flour miller, and as well as the flour, what we do are ranges of bread mixes and cake mixes, and we actually invented the bread mix. David, our boss, who owns the company, about 25 years ago, had this good idea that the mixes that we provided to chefs and to bakeries, he could put in small packs and sell to the general public. So if you go into your local artisan bakery and you buy a donut or a scone, the chances are it's actually our mix that's been used. In actual fact, if you go into a certain large donut supplier, that's also our mix. So today, what we're going to do is we've got 20 or 25 minutes to show you how to make two different things, one savoury, one sweet, using our mixes. I'm going to make a Black Forest Gateau using our Chocolate Fudge mix over here. And then over here, Andrea is going to make a Christmas wreath using our premium white bread mix. So you're going to get started to get the dough going.
And do you have to use a stand mixer by KitchenAid, or can you do this by hand?
Other brand mixers are available, I believe.
Well, I think KitchenAid is one of our brand sponsors, so we'll give them a big shout out.
Well, that would be my go-to every single time.
Yes.
Yeah, for this particular mix, because we're going to use an enriched dough, so we're not just going to use a bread mix, we're going to add some other things to it. That makes it quite sticky. So actually for this dough, I would recommend using a KitchenAid rather than making it by hand, but you could do. Just have a bucket of hot soapy water by the side of you once you've mixed it up. So into the mixer, we're going to put milk instead of water, one of our packs of 500-gram premium white bread mix. We're going to add butter, an egg. I'm sure I've forgotten something, haven't I? Oh, and sugar. So that's going to make a lovely enriched dough, which we'll then use to plait. And we'll come back to doing the plaiting in a minute or two. So while that's mixing, I'm going to step over here, and I'm going to make the base for the Black Forest Gateau. So in here, I've got 200 mils of water, 60 mils of vegetable oil, and that is all you need to add to make one of our cakes. Everything else is in the pack, and that will make 2 6-inch rounds of a standard chocolate fudge cake. Now, I'm going to make this slightly differently because you can also use our mixes as a base for other things, which you can then add to. So once I've mixed this up, I'm actually going to add egg whites. I'm going to whisk up some egg whites, fold that in, and that will give us a slightly lighter texture cake, which you would more expect to see as a Black Forest Gateau.
So you don't necessarily have to do that, but it's going to give you that lovely richness and lightness that you want in a gateau.
Yeah, absolutely. So you can see already just how quickly this is mixing in.
I love it.
It literally takes 2 minutes.
And the results are just consistent. That's what I like about the package.
The other thing that's slightly different about our mixes to all the others is with most of the others, you've got to add egg, you've got to add milk, you've got to add oil. Everything else you need is in the pack, except for the 60 ml of oil. So that's done. You can see how quick that was. I've got 3 egg whites in here, which I'm now going to whisk up. Now, I hate waste. So the egg yolks we're going to use to glaze the bread. But let's give this a quick...
And how long have you been with Wrights?
12 years.
12 years, and you've loved it.
So I've been doing this show every year since the Cake and Bake started.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I
love it.
Which is mad. But it's actually one of the highlights of the year for me. I really enjoy it. And I mean, we've done this show together for what? 7 or 8, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, I've pretty much done most of them as like yourself.
Yeah. So there we are.
So literally it's so quick, which is what I love, because if you've got friends
unplug
coming
it.
round and you want to make the house smell nice, this is the perfect thing to do, isn't it?
I'm not going to do the old trick of, yeah, that's whipped.
Oh, no.
That's gone wrong too many times in the past, believe me.
Do it.
So when you're folding in whipped egg whites into any sort of cake mix, just put 1 spoon in first and work it in. And that just starts to slacken the mix and it'll help it to absorb. And what I do is I'm bringing the top of the mix up and over. And the reason you do that is because the cake mix itself is a lot heavier than the egg, it always wants to sink down. So if you bring it up from the top, from the bottom and flick it over, it incorporates a lot better and a lot more evenly. Then we just put half of the rest in, carry on folding it round. And this is going to make, you get a bit more volume by doing this and a slightly lighter texture. And using, when you're doing a black forest, so you want a crumb that's going to absorb liquid because we're going to add some rather nice things to the cake just to drizzle on it as we go. So that's the last of the egg gone in. We just give this a mix round. You can see how quickly the egg is being absorbed by bringing it up and over.
It's really good, isn't it?
Yeah, there we are. And that's basically done there. So then all we're going to do now is we're going to divide this into 2 6-inch rounds. I've put a little bit of greaseproof paper on the bottom.
And it's minimal washing up as well, which I love.
That's a real benefit, isn't it? There we are.
And they keep as well, don't they? They've got a good shelf life. The pack.
Yeah, if you wanted to do this start this in advance, you could make these, cook them, and then freeze them down.
Yeah, it's brilliant.
The other good tip, I don't know if people probably do this. If you're making cakes, the flavour on a cake will develop over several days. So if you make a cake, let it go cold, put it in a food bag, seal it, leave it in your cupboard for a day or 2. The moisture equalises throughout the cake, so you won't have that slightly crispy top, and that goes away, and the cake is evenly moist throughout. But the flavour develops, and it's a noticeable difference. We're going to come over here now. That's taken 5 minutes, and we've done that. We've got our cakes in the oven. So the dough is mixed. We mix it for 5 minutes, rest for 2, mix for another 5, then leave it to stand for about an hour. So we're actually letting it prove. So just tip this up a little bit.
We can see
It's developed. It's started to grow. The yeast has started to do its magic. And the texture of it has become much softer and more elastic. So Andrea's now going to put a bit of flour down on her board, and she's going to roll it out into a rectangle. All the time, one of the things that you'll find when you're making bread, and particularly with an enriched dough, is that it can be quite sticky when you first mix it. But leaving it while it rests and while it starts to prove, the rest of the moisture is absorbed by the flour, and it becomes more silky and less sticky. So you can see that there's not a lot of flour being put down there, but it's already Andrea is being able to roll it out, and it's not getting stuck everywhere. So we've rolled it out into the rectangle. She's now going to spread cinnamon powder over it, leaving about a 1-inch gap along the top, because we need to seal it when we roll it up like a Swiss roll.
I love this recipe so much. I think it's genius.
Well, it's thanks to the lady on my left. Now we're going to add mincemeat, half a jar of mincemeat. You can be generous, spread it out.
I mean, what a lovely thing to have on Christmas Day or Christmas Eve, just with a nice coffee in the morning.
Absolutely.
Oh, perfect.
Here's a thought, though. Mincemeat is actually really nice. Why is it only available at Christmas?
I know. Why is that? I'm going to start a campaign.
I'd use it more if
Yeah.
it was available. Anyway, so we've spread it out. We've left about an inch, inch and a half, or 2 centimetres for those of you that are that way inclined, at the top. And now we're going to roll it up like a Swiss roll. So you start at one corner and you roll it across and just flip it over. You can see that she's on the TV there. And you work backwards and forwards along it as you roll it. So we get a nice even roll.
Oh, she's making that look easy. Very good.
That's why she's doing the technical bit and I'm
Yeah.
doing the cake.
You're not silly.
Right, now we've rolled it up. Now you don't need to have a cutter like this. You can just use a sharp kitchen knife for this. And we're just going to cut it down the middle. We've got the seal at the bottom. We're going to cut it down the middle and leave about an inch gap. An inch at the end where we're not going to cut it. So we're going to leave it joined at the very top. And then we're going to cut it. And I'll tell you what we haven't got. We haven't got on here a baking tray. So
Do you want me to get one?
No. I think what we'll do is we'll make it into the wreath. We'll leave it on the tray.
Okay.
I'm going to be completely honest with you here. We've got pretend ovens under it. I know that'll come as a big shock to all of you.
I think this one actually works. If you did want to bake it.
Now you tell me.
Sorry.
Oh, a baking tray, as if by magic.
Oh, he's good.
He
Well
is.
done, Ian.
We actually have people behind the stage. Ian's one of the stars there, and we kind of like show you. You see us showing you the things. There's a guy behind there who's helping us get everything ready. So big shout out to Ian. Thank you. So baking tray. This is I worry about this, but actually it's really easy. You're just going to slide it onto the tray, just like that. Look, isn't that easy? And then that's going to go into an oven,
brilliant.
240 degrees for about half an hour, 35 minutes. Every oven's a bit different, so we'll see how it goes. And now, while that's magically cooking in Ian's pretend oven, I'm going to finish off the Black Forest Gateau. So
Oh, I can smell it. It smells amazing.
here we have the two 6-inch rounds. I'm going to put one down there. Now, I generally use tins of a tin of cherries. I've got to be honest. There's a stand opposite us. Lacado
Oh,
cherries.
they're so good.
They are so good. So I'm actually going to decorate the cake with these. I've got some of the juice from the Lacado cherries and some of the juice from the cherries that I used yesterday. And I'm just going to paint the cake with the juice.
And that
so
is just
so
going to
that's going to soak in.
Yum.
That's going to soak into this cake. So you're going to get a lovely mix of the sweet cherries and the chocolate. And also, cherries have that lovely sweet, slightly sour note.
Yeah,
So you get a beautiful variety of flavours.
Which works so well with chocolate.
Oh, doesn't it just? Now, I'm also going to add on some cherry jam into this to give it a little bit of bulk as well. This has got cherries in it. You can use just a conserve, or you can use something like this, which has got some cherries in as well. And then, because I put cherries on in the middle, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pipe some cream round the outside. A little bit on the middle as well.
That looks good.
And then take our second cake, pop that gently on top, like that. Now, this cream has gone a little bit soft, so I'm not going to get rosettes, so I'm just going to...
Yeah, we can just have a mound of cream.
I'm going to have a mound of cream. There we are. And now I'm going to decorate that. So I'm going to decorate that with some of these Lacado cherries. All the way around there.
So delicious.
Can be as generous as you like with this.
And it's indulgent but lovely.
Yeah. And then, just to be a little bit chefy, what I'm going to do, I've got some fresh cherries as well. And I'm just going to pop those on, because I actually think that the stalks coming out off the top just give it a little bit of a centerpiece look. So, there we are. There is a Black Forest Gateau using Wrights Chocolate Fudge cake mix, made in less than 20 minutes.
That deserves a round of applause. Yeah,
Thank
delicious.
you. And then over here,
Wow,
now,
Andrea.
this is
look
quite
at that.
spectacular. The camera's gone off. Oh, there we are. It's back on. Lovely. So you can.
Look at that.
There we are. So hopefully you can all see the finish down there. Let it cool for 15, 20 minutes or so. As long as you can stand, I can't actually let it wait that long. And then carve it up, slice it up, and away you go.
This looks amazing, Andrea. That looks beautiful as well. That is right up my street, both of them.